Welcome to the Tea with Tamara Podcast. I'm Tamara Arnold, and it wasn't that long ago that I was a broke single mom drinking way too much, completely detached from everything. Now I've written multiple books, downloaded I Could Read Chakras, and I'm a channel for the universe. I'm a real person with real stories, and I can't wait to share them with you. So grab a warm bevy and let's have some enlightened conversation to live our best life. Happy Magical Tuesday, everybody. So this is the second time I'm dropping my podcast, not on a Monday, but a Tuesday. And that's for very good reason this week. And again, one of the greatest gifts we give ourselves is the permission to not feel as though we are failing or that we are not accomplishing that in which we set ourselves up to do, but having the flexibility to, nurture ourselves and really change the rules a little bit or bend them as we see fit. So the reason I am dropping the podcast like it's hot on a Tuesday instead of a Monday is because December has been the most amazing but busy month I've had so far. So in the first weekend of December, I was in Los Angeles for my mastermind with Amber Lillystrom, and it was pure amazingness in 3 days. We had so many guest speakers come in and share their incredible stories of how they got to where they are as entrepreneurs. And I was so juiced up on joy when I came back. I had 3 days of work last week, the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then I ran the Magical Mastermind Retreat this past weekend in Niagara on the Lake, Canada. And the theme of this retreat was activate your inner child. And the hotel was a magical landscape of Christmas. I tend to, do Christmas to the nth degree. So I'm dressing up in Santa dresses, and we had an ugly sweater party on the Saturday night. And it really was about, that childlike wonder and that awe that is the most beautiful place in Christmas. Like one of the attendees at the Magical Mastermind said, this is why I love Christmas so much, because it brings me back to being that child and being just so full of the magic of the season and looking around and seeing, all the pretty lights and the gifts. And it didn't matter if you didn't have money. Somehow Christmas always worked out. And it's true. It's this beautiful time of year. So as December started and I was jet setting on a plane and then prepping for my magical retreat, guys, I decided to not do anything yesterday. And it was pretty awesome. I did have to go get my daughter who was sick from school and stay home last night instead of going to an event. But I looked at that as the universe saying, Tamara, take the day. Don't push yourself. Be home with your daughter and take that spaciousness. And so really when we get to that place of understanding that there are always universal signs coming at us, that we can just kind of really go with the day and not feel as if we are not accomplishing the things. We'll allow ourselves to relax fully, allow ourselves to, completely decompress, to not have the thoughts of, I should be doing something right now, but to be in that space of just like breath and understanding and relaxation and rest. And so what I wanted to touch on today, especially because I just spent the weekend with 14 amazing empaths, is self-care for the empath. What do we need to do to ensure that we are working at our highest level for our community and tribe? And so we were talking on the weekend about, how easy it is for us to get into the mindset of knowing that we need to brush our teeth, because if we don't brush our teeth, then our teeth get sore. And then if our teeth get sore, we've got to go to the dentist. And if we go to the dentist, then we're going to find out that by not taking care of our teeth, we have to, have some sort of, surgery or really, I hate the dentist. So anything I'm going to say at this point on is just going to give me the heebie-jeebies, but we become in pain, right? It's uncomfortable. So why would we choose to let it get to that point of discomfort and pain when all we have to do is brush our teeth? Seems super simple, right? And it's the same thing as like cleansing ourselves, right? Like it's important because it keeps the germs and gross little things off our bodies so that we can remain healthy. If we're not showering and taking care of our bodies, then at some point something's going to happen and we're going to have to go to the doctor. And so to prevent ourselves from having discomfort and pain, we cleanse ourselves, we wash our hands, we make sure that we keep the germs off so we don't get sick and our bodies don't get strange and unusual things. And so that's so second nature and it seems so obvious to us. We do the things to prevent the pain and, the discomfort. But the same thing is true energetically. The same thing is true for our energetic body. If we are highly sensitive, if we are empaths, if we have any ability to open ourselves up and receive the pain of others, right? And so we're in this beautiful mastermind. I came from one and then I went directly into another. And I was like, okay, here comes the self-care for the empath. And I made sure I told all of the people in the room, we need to take care of emptying ourselves of other people's thoughts, feelings, and emotions so that we don't get into the discomfort and the pain. And then it becomes something bigger like sadness, depression, overwhelm, heaviness, chaos thoughts, leaving our body, all sorts of things. So the two things that I do in order to ensure that I remain an empty vessel for spirit or source, universe, God, however you look at it, to use me in my business as the vessel of love light that I am on this earth to be, and also to be in that empty state of receiving, divine money, soul clients, whatever it is that I am, my next phase of growth is stepping into, I do two things. One is I make sure that I do cord cutting on the norm, like it's a thing, right? And so cord cutting is simply imagining anybody in your life, and there are meditations on YouTube, and I can throw one up here in the podcast show notes for you guys, so you can actually do a cord cutting if you would like. And if you've gone your entire life and never done a cord cutting, guys, I highly recommend it because it is the most freeing thing. I remember when I did my first one, and it was only a few years ago, I sobbed like a little baby because I was so attached to so many people and didn't know it. Because from birth on, we get attached to events, to people, to experiences, and they're not all joyful, happy, woo-woo moments. And so little tendrils of attachment that aren't serving us connect us to these experiences or people. And so cord cutting, what it allows you to do is break and cut all of the cords that are not serving you or the other person, right? So any ex, boyfriends or girlfriends, let me tell you, so amazing to cut cords with those and be able to step freely into whether you're looking and seeking new love or in your love relationship that you have right now. It just opens you up to a completely different communication and relationship. It's pretty bang on, it's bombing. I tried to have that conversation with my kids the other day. I'm like, it's banging, it's balling. And they were like, what are you saying? And my husband was like, she's bringing the 90s back. Heck yeah, I am. Sure am. I loved myself the 90s. But we do the cord cutting, always remaining with a nice, strong heart-to-heart connection with our peeps, whoever we're cord cutting with, because we are here as love creatures, vessels of love. And so we never ever cut the cord of love from heart to heart. We cut all the rest around it. And the second thing that I do to ensure that I am the highest version of myself and utilizing my empath gift as a superpower and not as something that is, holding me back, is I empty my heart. So I call this a heart clearing. And a heart clearing is really, really powerful because we tend to become codependent as empaths, meaning we want to make everybody feel better. So we just collect them in our heart, like an antique shop, you know what I mean? Oh, you don't need to feel sad. Oh, let me hold this for you. Oh, come right in. I'll tuck right up into my heart. I'll keep you safe. But the problem is the minute we tuck people into our hearts, we're basically disconnecting them from their own conversation to whatever it is that, is their belief. So they don't longer have a connection to universe, source, spirit, God. And we become the translator for them. So spirit will use us as the means to pass the messages to them because we feel like we need to be responsible for them. This never works out, guys, because what happens is we exhaust ourselves yet again by taking in all of these people And when it comes time to not only hear our own messages, we're spending our days like going like, oh, I need to call so-and-so and tell them this. And you know what I mean? I got to give all these messages to all the people. And it's exhausting. So the simplest way that I can explain a heart clearing meditation is just to imagine each person in your life, and don't get caught into thinking, I don't know who is going to come or whatever. Just simply allow whoever is to come into your mind's eye and imagine them. And you can imagine them coming out as a bubble or just walking out like ants, or simply just visualize them as the being that they are, coming out of your heart and, you know, floating up into source, spirit, sky, universe. And when you do this, right, you're allowing your heart to empty of holding on to these people, which gives them the opportunity to have their own conversation with source, spirit, God, universe, whoever that is for them. And you create space within your heart to receive even more incredible abundance into your life, into your business, into being able to have stronger relationships with the people that you are already in relationships with. And I'll end why this is so important as well, because our heart chakra is our ability to send our message out through love into this world, right? I explain it as the Care Bear stare. And when our heart is an empty vessel of love, and we can receive whatever our divine downloads are into our heart, we are like the Care Bears in Care-a-Lot. And you know, when we are up in Care-a-Lot and somebody is in pain, they know that little Timmy on Earth over in, you know, Manitoba, Canada, needs them. And they all collect, and they are able, wherever Care-a-Lot is, to send such a strong vibration of love from where they are to little Timmy in Alberta or Manitoba, wherever I said, right? But when our heart is really full of other people's feelings and emotions and carrying the responsibility of others, when it's time for us to give that love, you know, a laser pointer that you would play with the cats and dogs on the floor, when you hold that up straight in front of you, that light doesn't go very far. And you'd have to place it down on the ground, and it maybe goes 2 feet out. So the amount of love and light and energy you're able to give when your heart is full translates to about the same as a laser pointer a couple feet in front of you. So the whole idea of clearing is creating that space to send so much more love efficiently to where it needs to go. And that is a powerful, powerful thing, because then you are able to serve not only your clients, but actually your family and friends with a much greater abundant like exhale from your heart. And so I just wanted to share with you, those are 2 ways that after any event, or I do it on a regular basis, because I know that it's important for me to stay an empty vessel for spirit to use me. So I tend to do it multiple times a month anyway. It's like brushing my teeth or keeping myself clean, because it prevents the pain and discomfort of my spiritual gift becoming too heavy, too much. And it feels so much easier. Life feels easier when I do these 2 things. So guys, I hope you have the most magical Tuesday. I'm so glad I got to share that with you. I will place the cord cutting into the show notes for you as well. And please let me know how you felt after that cord cutting, or out of that heart release meditation that you do simply by removing these people from your heart. And keep it clear on this magical Tuesday.